for putting in your comments. And now I want to show you something, because it's very it takes a lot of work and time for us to develop these courses, right? And to design these courses that are effective, sorry, courses that are effective, that really make a difference. It's not easy, right? And so with AI, there might be a way that we can use AI to leverage that power of AI and to help us design some courses. So I said to myself, um, it's okay, this presentation is nice and fun. We're talking about backward design and how can we align these learning objectives with the assessments, but then at the end of the day, we still have to develop and design these courses. But how can AI make that type of work a little more efficient? So the other week, about a week ago, or maybe no, a couple of days ago, I saw somewhere, I always try to keep up to date with all the AI news, but it's moving so quick. And I came across a video on YouTube, and this guy I follow, and he's pretty good. And I learned about a new tool that was coming out. And if you go to, everyone familiar here with Perplexity is one of those AI tools? Or ever heard of Perplexity? Because most of our students are using Perplexity. It's a pretty good tool for them to do research and helps them, research material for their papers and things of that nature. But not a few days ago, Perplexity released a new browser called Comet, Comet. And it's a new browser to compete with Chrome and all the other major browsers. And then 2 days ago, or maybe yesterday, then we saw OpenAI release their own browser, and their browser is called Atlas. And you can find Atlas if you Google search OpenAI Atlas. The only problem is I'm working from home today and I don't have a Mac. So Atlas will only work on a Mac for now. As you can see here, it says download for Mac. So I said, you know what? Forget Atlas. I'm going to play with Comet. And so I went ahead and downloaded Comet to my PC at home. At work, I did download Chat Atlas. But I haven't got to play with it yet. But I've heard that the two do pretty much the same thing. Okay, and so then I said, let me start playing around with it. And what is special about Comet, and why am I bringing it up? So I downloaded Comet. As you can see, I'm in Chrome right now, but I'm going to switch over to Comet. So let me go. Okay, here we are. So now I'm in Comet, and I've installed it on my PC. It's a regular browser, nothing special about it. But the only difference is, and by the way, I'm really new at this. I just started playing with this today. And so if something goes wrong, I apologize. But I was blown away with what I could do with this, especially with course design. And so I just wanted to share with you all today, because I want you to take a closer look and play with it yourself. And if you're following along, you can follow. But if you want to just watch, that's fine. All right. So when you open a new tab, it basically has a little window for you to enter your prompt. And I said to myself, okay, this is interesting. Let me see if it can help me build a course with the backward design framework. And so I put together a prompt, and let me share that with you all. Let me go back here. I have it over here. I posted it here so I don't have to do it in live, because I'm doing it live. Anything can go wrong when we go live, right? So let me put in the chat just to share with everyone so you can have it and play with it on your own. So the prompt that I put together pretty much is this. I said to Comet, pretend you are a teacher at City Tech College. You are teaching ENG 1101 to freshmen and sophomores. I should put students, sophomore students. Let me change that. So prompt iteration, right? We're iterating as we go, right? Using backward design as a framework, design a 1 week course. And I only did it, I could do a 15-week course, but just for I don't want to for time, I don't want to take it too long, and so I just put up 1 week, but this could easily be written as a 15-week course, let's say, or 10-week course. Use the attached document, which includes all learning objectives, right? So over here, there's a little attach files icon. And what I'm going to do is, your department might hand you a document that has all the learning objectives, right? So it's a document. You're going to take that document, you're going to feed it or attach it to the prompt. All right, so then so I said, look, I'm going to attach the document that includes all the learning objectives for this course. Let me put there, for this course. Now, this is the exciting part, or the very interesting part. My next command is go to the open tab. I have an open tab over here. It's Brightspace. My course is called A2L Workshop. So basically, I'm saying the A2L Workshop course is open. Build the folder, give it a title, design the course activities that align with the learning objectives. So everyone follows along what I'm doing here? Or any questions?
Yeah, Ando.
So no questions? Okay, good. So very straightforward. I want to build a course. I want AI to help me build the course. I know how much time it takes to build a course. I want it to give me a head start, and then I'm feeding it my learning objectives, which were given to me by my department. So all my learning objectives are included in that document. I'm going to click attach, which is right here. I'm going to go to local files. And here is my ENG 1101 learning outcomes. It's a PDF, by the way. I double click. I can see now that the file is now attached to my prompt. So my learning outcomes are now listed along with my prompt. Now, the exciting part is I'm hoping that it's going to do some of the work for me. So I'm asking it to go to my tab, which is over here. And here is my course, A2L workshop. And as you can see, the table of contents is empty. All right, my course is empty. And I'm going to ask Comet to then build the course off the learning objectives and then create some assignments. So let me make sure I wrote that right. Design the course activities that align. Let me say course activities and assignments. I want one assignment. Let me say course activities assignments. Let me plural. Put it plural just in case. That align with the learning objective. Now, I'm being very broad here. I'm not very specific, but obviously you can go in and change this prompt and make it more specific. Since I edited the prompt, let me just copy one more time and put it in the chat because I did make some change. Anything else I should add to this? Anyone, any suggestions, or should I leave it the way it is? All right, I'll leave it the way it is then, and I'll put it in the chat. If you come up with some ideas, let me know as we do this in live. All right, so that's a new prompt. I put it in the chat if you want to go ahead and use it. All right, so I think we're ready. So what I'm going to do next is this little button here at the right-hand side. It has an arrow pointing to the right. I'm going to click on the little arrow, and let's see what happens. As you can see, it starts to think, and it's letting you know what it's doing. And I'm not touching anything. It looks like it opened a new tab. It went to Brightspace. As you can see in the right hand. Oh, now it located my course. You saw that? Okay, so now I went to the table of contents. You see that? I'm not clicking anything. This is all the browser.
Were you logged in already?
I was logged into the browser through Chrome. When I installed Comet, I passed on all my credentials from Chrome into Comet. Look what it just did. It created a folder, week 1, Introduction to Critical Reading and Rhetorical Analysis. Now it's clicking on the create button. You see that in the middle there?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool, Professor Lou?
Yeah, it's really
Okay, so now as you can see, it is creating a file, and you see how the brain is thinking on the right hand side. Let me make it a little bigger. I don't know if you can see these little words over here. I'm afraid to scale the zoom in on the browser because I'm afraid I might close it by accident. But look, it's thinking now. It's thinking about, okay, so it looked at my learning objectives. I went into my document. Oh, look at that. Okay, so it pasted something into the week 1 introduction to critical. Okay, so look at that. So it created the learning objectives. By the end of this week, you'll be able to identify and evaluate. Oh, okay, close it before I can read it. Okay, so it says excellent. The week overview file has been created. So now I think it's doing, what is it doing now? I think it's going to do, it, I don't know what it's doing right now. The menu is open and now it's creating reading material for week 1. Understanding rhetoric and rhetorical situations. So now it's generating based on the learning objectives that we fed to the AI. It's now understanding the learning objectives that we're looking for and now building materials in your course based off the backward design framework. Okay, so now we just created a second page. The reading content has been added. Now let me save this file. I'm gonna put my hands up because I don't want you guys to think that I'm clicking anything.
that's funny.
So you created your like profile in the Comet, right? With your email, whatever, and then you give in the prompt this command and it create all your class in your site. That's amazing.
And look what it's doing now, Professor Lou. It's now creating an assessment.
The document that you uploaded, was that basically a syllabus?
No, let me share. I'll show you in a second. I don't want to steal
Yeah,
your
yeah.
away.
You can hold off on that. I
But
want to see
the
the stuff finish.
sure. The document I grabbed was from our English from I'm from City Tech. Our English department has the learning objectives on their departmental website. So it's a PDF. So I went to the English department. I went ahead and then I downloaded the PDF with the learning outcomes, and then that's what I fed into. Oh, look at this. How effective was this communication? Did it persuade you? Why or why not? Initial post, 250 to 300 words, due by Wednesday. Look at that. So it's creating an assignment and it's closely aligning the assessment to that learning objective on rhetoric. Why? So you can see week 1 has a learning objectives that it grabbed from the document. So it just created a discussion topic. You see everyone here at the middle? Okay, what is it doing now? Let's see.
So
So
you're using Comet, you said?
yes, I'm using Comet. You can use the OpenAI one. I haven't tested that one yet, but I believe that Chrome is not too far away with their version of this. And I believe that with Chrome, it's going to be even be more powerful because with Chrome, you have the Chrome ecosystem. So one thing I did earlier on a side note, this is on a side note, what I was doing was I said, okay, um, help find an inspirational story of somebody who lost over 100 pounds, and it'll search the internet for like some inspirational story. Someone lost 100 pounds. Now gather the ingredients for the diet that they use to lose 100 pounds. Then I said, make a list, create a document on Google Docs, and add all those ingredients in my list. Then I said to it, go to my Amazon, open a new tab, go to Amazon and order all of those ingredients and put it in my cart for Amazon. And it did all of it for me. And all I had to do is just then, pay, from time to time, it will stop and ask you a question. But this prompt was really good, the prompt that I just made right now, because it hasn't yet stopped me and asked me any questions. Like, it hasn't got stuck yet. So as you can see now, we have an overview with the learning objectives. We have a reading assignment. We have a discussion, and we have the assignment. And all of this is aligned with the learning objective.
So ChatGPT wouldn't be able to do this?
It wouldn't be able, I don't think the current ChatGPT can control your screen and do all this for you. Maybe an agent, if you create an agent, but then you have to start building agents then. But this is already done for you. You don't have to, all you got to do is create the prompt and it just does it for you.
And did you say this is the one that this isn't the one that only works on a Mac?
No, this is the one that works on PC and Mac. This is
Okay.
Comet works on PCs and Mac, and the Atlas, which is OpenAI's version, currently is only available on the Mac. Okay, what is it doing now? I have successfully designed and built a 1-week ENG 1101 course in Brightspace using the backward design framework. Here's what was accomplished. Course module was created. Week 1, Introduction to Critical Reading and Rhetorical Analysis. Backward design framework applied. So remember we covered the stages, the 3 stages of backward design? So you see how stage 1 is outlined? Desired results. Based on the ENG 1101 learning outcomes document, the week focuses on, you see how it has a link to the document? So this is the citation. So it's letting me know that this was not gathered from the internet. This is gathered from the attached document that I submitted to Comet. So it's referencing the attached document. Then it's telling me learning outcome number 1, read and listen critically and analytically, identifying arguments, major assumptions, and evaluating supporting evidence. Learning outcome number 3. So it's telling you the alignment of those learning objectives. It's telling you right here. Then it went on to stage 3 of the backward design framework. How can students demonstrate learning? Okay, so now it's telling me what we did was we created an assignment and we called it rhetorical analysis essay, 600 to 750 words. Students analyze a text using rhetorical concepts, evaluates understanding of rhetorical situations, appeals critical analysis, assesses MLA citation skills. We talked about summative and formative assessments. Look what it did for us. So this could be the summative, here could be the formative assessment, discussion forum, participation. So it created a formative assessment in discussion format. So students will have to post analyzing real world rhetoric, 250 to 300 words, responses to 2 classmates, demonstrates application of course vocabulary. And remember stage 3 of the backward design model is the learning plan. So the learning plan, this is really the tough part, right? This is the hard part, which was designing all this material. So here's the week 1 overview with the learning objectives and the schedule. Here is the activities. Here's the reading. Here's the discussion, and then here's the assignment based on the reading. And then at the bottom, it says all materials are aligned with the ENG 1101 learning outcomes and designed to build student competency in critical reading and rhetorical analysis through scaffolded instruction and authentic assessment. So it basically did a whole module for me in maybe 3 to 4 minutes, 5 minutes at most. So this gives you a heads up as a professor to now open up the course, take a look. And again, we talked about this in the previous workshops. We talked about hallucinations. We talked about all the crazy stuff that it could come up with. So I'm not saying this is final version of your course, you can now go in here. Let's take a look at the week 1 overview. This might take some tinkering. This is not going to be perfect, right? But it gives you a heads up. I mean, like a step, a jump start. Let's take a look at the reading material, right? So, again, you might have your own reading material that you might want to incorporate here and might have to link it. So this is not finished. This is not to say that this is going to do completely 100% all the work, but it's just, you can see how it's breaking it up, right? We talked about scaffolding, right? We want to break it up. Rhetorical situation, rhetorical appeals, claims and evidence, critical reading questions, right? So it even provided those critical questions that students may need to think deeper. Let's go back out. And then it created the discussion in Brightspace for me. It did it for me. I didn't have to touch anything. And so let's take a look at the discussion. Welcome to our first discussion forum. This week, we're exploring how rhetoric functions in our daily lives. Rhetoric isn't just for formal essay or speeches, it's everywhere. Here's the prompt. Think about a piece of communication you encountered recently, an advertisement, social media post, news article, email, text message, etc., that tried to persuade you or change your thinking. Describe the text communication. What was it? Where did you see it? I love this because it's multimodal, right? It could be a commercial, it could be a radio announcement, it could be an ad on Facebook, and the students can take whatever that is and plop it into the discussion. What was the rhetorical situation? What was, and it goes on and on. So as you can see, it's scaffolded, is broken up for you already. Here are the posting requirements, right? So here are the instructions. It has to be 250 by 300 words due by Wednesday. And then I like at the bottom how it says this discussion aligns with learning outcome number 1. The alignment, we're going back to alignment. Read and listen critically and analytically, identifying arguments, major assumptions, and evaluating supporting evidence. So this is doing several things for us now because it's doing transparency of the alignment of the learning objectives, and it tells the student this is the why. So this little sentence here I think is so important because as a student, why am I doing this? Why is a teacher asking me to do this? We forget about the alignment to the learning objective, and it's giving it to us right here. So the student gets to see why they're doing this. Real quick, let me go back into the last part, which was the assignment. Let's take a look at the assignment. Again, this was created for me. I didn't do anything other than submit the learning objectives document and my prompt. So it gives it a title, it gives it an overview. For this assignment, you will analyze a text using the rhetorical concepts we studied this week. This assignment assesses your ability to read and listen critically and analytically, identifying an argument's major assumptions and evaluating its supporting evidence. Assignment requirements. You have to choose one of the following texts to analyze. So it's giving you, some choices here. This is where you might have to come in and do a little bit of a heavy lifting because, as you can see, it doesn't, you might not want them to have. They might have to submit the text or the title of what it is they're choosing, and then you might have to approve it. So you might have to come in here and change this a little bit and say, based upon approval of your choice, that will be your topic for your essay. Your essay should be 600 to 750 words. Analyze, examine, evaluate. I think is even using Bloom's taxonomy, right? Is using exam, evaluate, include, right? So using the Bloom's taxonomy here. Again, broken down nicely with nice, scaffolded instructions. Learning outcomes addressed. The alignment again, right? It's going back to the alignment. This assignment aligns with ENG 1101, learning outcomes number 1 and number 3. And then it tells you what those learning outcomes are. And then here it provides an evaluation criteria. So this is somewhat of the rubric. You might have to tinker with this yourself. Clear thesis and organization, 20%. Accurate identification of rhetorical situation, 20%. Thorough analysis of rhetorical appeals, 30%. So you might have to, go in here and tinker. Upload your essay as a Word document or PDF. Include the original text as a link attachment. Due Sunday. Oh, look at that, 11:59ers before midnight. So let me take a quick look at the settings of this assignment. I want to see if it actually did make it the due date. Let me see if it actually put the due date for Sunday. Let's take a quick look at the assignments.
Can you check to see if it create the rubrics too to grade it?
Oh yeah, it wasn't part of my prompt, so I doubt it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure if I had to put it in my prompt, they would have done it for me as well. But let's take a look at the assignment closely now. We're going to go at the macro level. Ah, okay. So it kind of didn't put a due date. When I did it my first time, it did put a due date. So I guess my prompt wasn't, I should have put in my prompt, but again, it's just to get a jump start. You might have to come in here, put the date, but if you put the dates or attach another document that has your calendar of the assignments, the schedule, and it follows the assignment, it could then just create them all for you. So I can tell it didn't put a due date. It didn't make it gradable. So I should have put here, make the assignment. You know what? Let's do this. Make the assignment the rhetorical, let's see if I can spell right here, rhetorical analysis essay, a graded assignment out of 100, and the due date, let's say October 28, 25. So I'm just continuing my prompting because we should always remember that it's not always one prompt. It's an iterative process. So don't try to get everything correct in the first prompt. It's iterative, right? So we're going to continue to interact with our agent or the AI, generative AI, and continue the conversation as you're building. So let's see what happens. So I said I wanted to make this 100 here and then put a due date for October 28. Let's see what happens. I'm going to click the blue button on the right. Preparing to assist you. I got my hands up. Okay, there we go. So it's taking a screenshot. It's so that I could analyze the window that's we're looking at. So it's using images to analyze, and then once it understands what it's seeing, then oh, there it goes. It put 100. You saw that? Okay, so it put 100 in the grade, but in the points for the assignment, and then now it's going to do the due date. Yep, you saw that? It clicked the due date. Let's see if it types in the correct date. October 28. Yep, 11:59.
This is amazing.
Yeah, yeah, pretty amazing, right? I mean, this is where we're going. And what's important about this is that we as educators can need to continue the talks that we're having. We need to continue talking because we have to be part of the conversation and not shy away from the conversation because the technology is moving way too fast, and we need to stay on top of the what's happening so that we have a say as to the where does this take us, so that we always have to be involved in the conversation. So as you can see, they're still fiddling around. But what I've noticed is that once it learns how to do something, it gets quicker and quicker. So repeated tasks get done quicker, but if it's a new task that it hasn't yet done, it starts fiddling around. It might click on the wrong thing. It might go to evaluation and feedback. and it starts to search and look for things until it finds, and then it just learns on its own based on the screen that's being presented to to in this case Comet. Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to ask. There have been some articles on OpenAI's browser Atlas, one being vulnerable to attacks that it can turn against the user, or having some security concerns. Are there these questions in where a Comet is concerned?
Yeah, I mean those concerns will go across
Mhm,
the board on all these tools, right?
mhm.
You know, now would you be able to access my course with Comet? No, because I'm logged in, it's my account, you know, but there is some concern as these tools get smarter and smarter and smarter. At what point do you just let it loose and do, with all the logins that you can give it, right? What will it do with this freedom, as I let it loose into the World Wide Web? What could happen? I don't know. These are just questions that we need to ask ourselves. But in this case, I'm monitoring very closely at what is it doing. And I can always hit the stop button over here. Over here, there's a square at the bottom right corner. Um, I don't even know. I lost track of what it was doing, but now it looks like it's going into my assignment. It's trying to do something. I don't know what it's doing. But if I see that something is going on and I want to stop it and pull the plug, I can always just hit the stop button over here and it will stop. But yes, I also share some concerns, Melissa, to what you're asking here is I guess there's some concerns, you know, it's doing things on my behalf. And then what happens if it starts doing things that are illegal on my behalf? You know, uh, or it purchases something on my behalf because now it has my login to all my, you know, my Amazon account. It starts purchasing things.
Yeah, that's what my question was going to be also. Like, you logged in using your Google account, right?
So let me explain a little better. I didn't quite explain in the beginning. So when you okay, so I think it's done here doing whatever it was doing. What it did was it went back in and went to the assignment, made it a gradable assignment, and it gave it 100, and then it gave it a due date of October 28th. And now the assignment rhetorical analysis essay has a little ribbon icon, which means that it's counting towards the final grade. So okay, that was done. So to go back to your question, Professor Liu. What I did was, let me just bounce back over to Chrome. And here is the website that I mentioned earlier. You are going to go to, you can, if you don't know the direct website to it, you can just go to Google and type, you can open, let me just do a new tab. Just go to Google and you can say, give me Google, Perplexity Comet. And then you do a Google search, hit return. There it is. It's under Perplexity's website. The future is Comet. So they're competing with all the major, Chrome, Microsoft. When you click on the future is Comet, then in the top right-hand corner, you have the download button. And I believe this will work for both PC and Mac. You hit download. Um, this is the part that I was referring to. Continue with Google, right? Because I already have my Google account. Or your Microsoft or Apple account, whatever it is that you have. I went with my Google account, and then I went with my personal Google account, which is my personal email.
So below that, it says single sign-on. That has nothing to do with CityTech single sign-on, does it?
No, 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 no. That's not. I would go in this case. What I recommend, I think everyone in this room has a Google account or a Microsoft account or Apple, right? So what I would do is just select whether you want to connect it to your Google account or your Apple account. And then go in that way. And then what's going to happen next is going to download that file. Let me show you my download folder. It's right there. And you're going to double click on the installer. Again, I'm on a PC, so on the Mac is a little different. You're gonna install Comet to your computer. Then what you're going to do is, let me go back into Comet. When you install Comet, and in the installation process, it's going to ask you, do you want to bring in to sync or to bring in all your information from your Chrome account? If Chrome is your preferred browser, I for me, Chrome is my default browser. For you, it might be Opera or Firefox or whatever. What you're going to do is then you want to if you wanted to bring all your logins and all your information from your default browser, which could be Chrome, Opera, or Firefox, then it will bring in all those logins into Comet. Then after that, you're pretty much, in, and then you create a username and you create your password.
So
And
if we didn't want to bring in all the passwords and usernames, we just have to log into all those accounts manually, or I'm just concerned about like
yes.
letting this thing access all my stuff. So I'm even thinking like, okay, maybe I should just create another separate Google account for all this stuff, but I still need to log into all these webs, like,
Correct.
Brightspace and stuff like that. But I don't want Perplexity to have this password. Like you said, like who knows? Someone decides to
True,
hack them, and
Michael.
all of a
I agree
sudden,
with you.
and all of a sudden, like my lesson plans are based on like some, random image or whatever.
I'm laughing. I'm only laughing, Professor Lou, because I understand your concern, but I'm laughing how crazy I am. And I said, yes. I said, yes, bring all my logins. Don't worry. And then go ahead. And who knows? I go to my bank account. I'm minus $2,000 or whatever. But yes. So to answer your question, you don't have to say yes to that. You can just say no. It will not bring any information. It's a clean slate. It has no prior knowledge of your history with Chrome. So you have a clean slate with Comet, if that's what you wish to do. In that case, then that's a question mark for me, because for me, it had my login to Brightspace. So when I asked it to go in Brightspace and log in, go in and create the course and everything, I wonder what would happen in your prompt. It might say to you, oh, I don't have the login to Brightspace. I can't get in. So it might stop in the whole process.
So, so you weren't logged into Brightspace when you asked it to do it.
I was logged in here, but it opened a new tab and it just went out
Oh,
of
okay.
the zone because I already had my Brightspace login from my Chrome history. So let me know in your experience if did it ask you to log in for it? Because it's not going to be able to log in if it doesn't have your username and password. It won't be able to log in.
Right. It might just ask you to log in first before it does anything.
It might ask you that. I don't know because again, I was the crazy one here. I was the guinea pig, and I said, let me just do it this way because I'm giving it access to all my my logins here. Um, yeah, please let me know your experience and uh, what you encounter, your thoughts, ideas, concerns.
If I wanted to install this on my office computer, I need CIS to install it, right? It seems like.
Oh, it's a great question. I believe so. It depends. Again, I have a different account than you, so for me, I didn't have an issue. But
Because it's not, is it a separate app or is it like an app within my browser?
no, no, it's in a separate app that you need to
Okay.
install. So you might have to. Oh, yeah, that's going to be that might be an obstacle. Good question, Professor Lou. Because as you can see, I had to download the exe, the executable file, right? The installation file.
Yeah.
So it might be that in your school or a city tech that you might need permission from your administrators to allow the installation. For me, on the other hand, I have a different you know permission setting, so I was able to do it at a city tech without no problem. But yes, you might encounter some restrictions in that sense.
Like there isn't like a web version, a web-based version.
Oh, I didn't check. I didn't check that. This is again, this is hot off the press.
Okay.
This is fresh. This just came out. As you can see, also, let me show you the atlas. So it could be that you can just log in and go in, and it might. I don't know. You know, this is moving so fast right now. All this technology, but you can see here with the atlas, it's only available for Mac OS. So I hit a dead end here at home. Unfortunately, I don't have a Mac at home. I have a Mac at work. I did do it at work, but so far what I've seen from some videos is that the two are pretty identical. You know, the functionalities, the features. But I'm really anticipating for Chrome to have this feature because, as you all know, Chrome and Microsoft, now you're talking about bringing in the whole ecosystem, right? So Microsoft is, oh gosh, what is it? Edge, right? So Microsoft Edge, right, might then have the functionalities, which Copilot already does. Actually, Copilot will let you, you know, say, hey, create for me a presentation using PowerPoint based on the document I uploaded, you know.
But it's only Microsoft products. They won't do this with Brightspace.
Oh, no, no, no. So yeah, so here, let me show you. Okay, one more example before I know I'm already over, but that's a good point, Professor Lou. Let me show you real quick. I'm going back to Comet, right? Let's open a new tab. Let's just do a new project. To your point, right? So can this work with Google, right? Can this work with Microsoft? So here, let's do a new prompt.
No, I mean like Copilot won't work with Brightspace
Oh, I
like the
haven't.
way this is doing.
I don't think it will do it yet. It's not there yet.
Okay.
Like what we just did today. But you gave me a good idea. Let me show you one more thing before we close. Can Copilot work with my Google account and create for me a Google Doc, and then from that Google Doc create a presentation for me without me not touching anything?
Yeah.
So a good topic. Professor Lou, what do you teach?
Um, one of the classes is material methods for buildings.
Material methods for building.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's say search the internet for some interesting topics on material methods for building. Okay, let's do that. Pretend you are you are teaching a course titled Materials Methods for Building. Search for interesting topics on the subject. Let's say search for, let's say, 5 interesting topics on the subject. A specific subject, Professor Lou?
Well, I could give you the name of the textbook and cite a chapter to be more specific. Do you
Sure,
want
if
to
you
do
can give
something like that?
me, yeah, if you can give me a chapter title so we can be more, a little
Okay,
more.
so uh, the textbook name is Building Construction, uh, Principles, Materials, and Systems.
Okay, so based on the textbook, building construction, but then the chapter name again, sorry?
Chap the rest of the title of the book is let's see, Building Construction, Principles, Materials, and Systems is the name of the textbook. And then let's see, a chapter. Let's just pick
Yeah,
a random chapter.
yeah, something specific that on a topic.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a short. Chapter 11, Soils and Excavations.
All right.
Exciting stuff.
Excavate. Okay. All right. So again, I apologize. My prompt is a little bit, search for 5 interesting topics on the subject on soils and excavation. You know what? I'm going to remove the textbook for now, just because I wanted to give you some interesting articles on the internet. Then what I'm going to ask it to do is, this is where the magic happens. I'm going to say create a Google document titled interesting topics for my class tomorrow. Uh,
Really waiting to the last minute to plan.
include the links to these articles in the Google Doc. All right. All right. So basically, I'm asking it to go on the internet, do this work for me, search for me 5 interesting topics on the subject on soils and excavation, create a Google document titled "Interesting Topics for my class tomorrow." Include the links to these. Include the titles and links. Include the titles and links to these articles in the Google Doc. I'm going to stop there because then after that, I'm going to ask it then to then create a presentation, on Google Slides. But let's see what it could do for us. All right. So there you go. It found, all right, there's the links. It found the links. It found the articles. Now is the tricky part. Can it go into my Google Doc? Oh, look at that. I apologize for all my stuff is being shown here. All right. So we asked it to give us titles and links to these articles. So I believe it's gonna paste, I guess. Am I pasted? Oh, it put the title. You saw that?
It's so weird seeing it do it by itself.
I know. It's kind of like scary and freaky at the same time.
I mean, the whole point of all of this is also like at some point, this stuff is gonna understand you,
Yeah. Yeah.
your personality, your likes and your dislikes.
Yeah, yeah. With the Copilot, I have the Copilot Pro. It already started going through all my files in my OneDrive. So it already has all my notes. It already has what I said on my first meeting at City Tech. And from time to time it will ask me, "Oh, your first meeting at this meeting, you said such and such." I have like, "What? I said that? I don't even remember."
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So as you can see now, it's putting in the titles, how different soil types impact excavation projects. There's the link right under it, bearing capacity of soil types and calculations, safety tips for trenching and excavation. And again, it's just doing all the research in your behalf. And I could walk away and just get my coffee and drink my tea or whatever, and then I come back later and it's all here ready for me, and then
I,
then I can just build on it.
I have no doubt students are doing this right now in my class when I ask them to do notes on the reading,
Mhm.
because a couple of them refuse to do things handwritten. Not refuse, like I remind them to do everything handwritten because that's what I want them to do. And some of them are still doing it, typewritten on the computer. And I'm really suspicious now that they just went out there and said, give me a 5-page document summarizing the reading
Oh yeah.
with include captions from the textbook.
Oh yeah. No, they are already on that. That's been happening already for a while.
Yeah.
What this is now introducing for us as educators now, what we need to be aware now also is again, we got to start thinking about the rigor behind our assessments, and if
Mhm.
they're doing the research, now the research is being done for them, and then this tool will be doing most of the research and then finding all the topics, and then so you know this is why this is important for us to continue having these conversations and talk about these tools, and again continue talking about how our assessments still have some type of rigor left in them.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was moving away from like quizzes because I thought
Hmm.
they weren't doing what they were supposed to do, and I would rather have a discussion in class. But
Hmm.
like what I'm finding is that when I have a discussion with some of these students, they don't know the answers to my questions, but they should have because they did the notes. Whereas if I just gave them a quiz, it would be very apparent that they weren't, doing what they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and this is why I try to, these workshops are really just to keep us all informed and, for us to talk about it.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll do before I stop,
Oh,
now I have the Google Doc. Let's make it into a Google Slides so that I can present in class.
I'm curious to see what images it finds.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I should have been more specific. Well, I could still say add images to the
Add
slide.
images.
Yeah. So I believe it's going to open a new tab and it's going to go into Google Slides. Yep. It just opened the new tab. Let me. It's not showing us, but I can show you if I click on it. There it is.
I mean, the application of this also in terms of like accessibility, like if someone cannot type, you could
Ah,
just voice command and this just does everything for you. I mean,
yes.
to some extent.
Yes, I failed to mention, Professor Wu, that as we go into the prompt, let me just while it's doing the slide, let me just open a new tab. Over here, you have the microphone, which
Mm,
somebody who is have some type of disability,
right.
hearing impairment or whatever. I'm sure they're going to be these will be much more accessible, and that's another conversation to be had. Is that these tools need to be accessible to everyone, right?
Yeah.
We got to consider, all accessibility issues that can come up with this, right? So, but you can easily click on the microphone and just speak to it, and then it will just, type it for you. But anyway, as you can see, there goes my slides, right? So it's building my slides for me. I didn't ask it to put images, but I can just jump in here once it's done with my slides. I can just then ask it to incorporate some visual images, or I can even generate my own images and then, I might have, I say, generate for me image on excavation and then include it in slide number 3, right? So specific images, you can have it generate specific images to that specific slide and then insert it into the slide for you. But again, just to be cautious because, again, this is not we have to be cautious of what it's doing here and take a look at it before you just present it because again there is
Right.
hallucinations and other things that false information that it could bring in from the internet, so just be careful. All right, I hope this was informative. I hope that Oh, there's some, I think there's some, oh, okay. Kate Lee said, thank you, great information. I'm going to another call. Amazing. Okay, so there are no questions, I guess, unless anyone else has any questions before we close.
Nope.
Oh, we got
That's fine. It's incredible.
it?
Scary, but incredible. I
I
don't
think
know.
I think it's only 3 of us left. I went way over, but I'm
It's okay.
glad that we got to have a little fun with it and test
Yep.
it out. But please continue using it, experiment, and then on the next workshop, maybe we can go back to it again and just
Yep.
share our findings.
Yep. Did you say because when I was at the co-pilot, did you say that you were gonna do a workshop on creating agents?
Yes. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Let me see if I can go back real quick. We do where is my workshop? Oh, so here's okay, so this is a document that I am using just to help me guide through all these workshops because it's overwhelming. So we're over here now, understanding backward design. I forgot to put here with AI. Let me just put that with AI. Then there's a series of prompting workshops in person at in G600 where I'm located. And then where is it? So
Was
agents.
that prompting workshop the one we did last week?
Oh, the in-person one with Microsoft?
Yeah.
This is a continuation.
Okay.
I didn't get to meet you, Professor. I don't think I said hi to you. My apologies if you were
No,
there.
it's okay. So,
I think I did see you and I didn't recognize you, but this is a continuation of that with more advanced, um,
okay.
based on the audience. We'll see what the audience comes in. If I can go deeper, if we have more advanced. I just wanted to continue and not feel like, okay, here Microsoft came, they left, and you're on your own.
Yeah.
I just wanted to at least support the faculty in case there was more faculty that needed more support, and also to go deeper into
Okay.
the prompting.
But those registrations, did they go out already for those three or no?
No, I'm sending. if you don't have access to this document, I will share them with you. I also will send it on the newsletter for
Okay.
the November newsletter. But
Okay.
here, I just realized I failed to put the link for the registration for number 2 and number 3. So, number 1, 2, and 3. I got to put the registration link for those here.
Okay.
Oh,
I just don't want to miss it. So I
oh
wasn't sure
no,
if
of
they went
course.
out already. Okay.
Of course. No, I understand. And then the one that you're referring to is here, November 14, the one that we did on the agents.
That's
So that,
specifically for assessments.
yeah, remember I was demoing real quick on how I was able to create the agent, and in here I will just go clearly detailed steps, much more slower, and
Mhm.
just like how we did today, because on that day I put too many things on, on my plate. I think that was overwhelmed too many people, and it was too much. So I left it for November 14th so that we can get together one more time and just, now that everyone got an idea what it can do, we can come together and go through the steps together and then share. Hopefully you might have created an agent and others might have created an agent and we can share a little bit there. And that's pretty much it for my fall semester. I think I did. Yeah, I gotta start focusing now for spring. But that one is right here for November 14 at 1 p.m.
Okay. Great.
All right,
All right.
we'll end there. Thank you for attending. Thank you for taking the time on a Friday, which is a Monday schedule. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. And
Okay.
we'll talk soon. Take care.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye.